All right. So this is Joe from Bottomlessbar. I want to tell you a little bit about Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, MySpace Podcasts. I don't know who the fuck does podcasts anymore, but it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. And this is your mandatory call to action. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. When we come back on, let's talk about the drink, and then I want to talk about this specifically. All right, if you're okay with that. If you're all right
I would love it. Yeah.
Are we on?
Oh dear.
Oh. Are you okay over there?
My top came off.
This is, excuse me, miss, this is Bottomless Bar, not Topless Bar.
I'm so sorry. The top of my mic came off.
Oh.
Shirts are required.
Yeah.
Shirts are required. Bottoms are optional.
optional.
That's your chair forever.
If you can't tell, we're coming back from drink break.
Drink break. We had a very lengthy discussion about where we're going to go for the next half hour, right? First, we're drinking martinis tonight, right? This is the whole point of drink break.
Yes, we
kind
are.
of kitschy. Kara, do you know anything about martinis?
I know that they're delicious.
Okay, it's a good start.
I know that I like them. I know that the way that I prefer them is incorrect.
Well, it's debatable. How do you prefer your martinis?
I prefer my martinis. Well, I prefer a gin martini because in my mind, a vodka martini does not exist. I do not like vodka.
It's a good start.
So I like a gin that is not very herbally, botanical-y. It's like more of like a mellow gin.
Oh, like a dry gin.
A dry gin.
Mm-hmm.
I like it dirty, extra dirty, if I can. I like it shaken, which I know is not something that the professionals would say is correct.
Yes.
The reason being, I like the shards of ice. I think they're delicious. I like the texture that it gives in the cocktail. I like 3 olives.
Yeah, 3 olives is proper.
That is all.
Yeah. So, ultimately, any potential bartenders out there or current bartenders, the traditionalists will say that a martini is stirred. It should be clear. If it's not gin and vermouth and a chilled glass up, it's not a martini. That's kind of the narrative. That's the gist of the narrative of a lot of the traditionalists out there. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, a customer asks for something. Someone comes up to me, for instance, and asks for a Manhattan. They want it shaken. Fucking shake it. Fucking shake it. I leave my biases at the door. That's what, if they ask for it specifically, fucking do it. As we said in the last episode, get the tip. Get the tip. Customer ultimately should be happy, but they're not always right. That's kind of another tangent.
They could be right in their own mind, but not necessarily.
Well, they want what they want.
Mind.
They want what they want.
Yeah.
But it's, they may not necessarily know what they're asking for, but if that's what they like, give it to them.
Great.
You want a gin martini, a little bit of orange bitters.
Mm-hmm. That's one thing I forgot. Thank you.
Dirty.
Dirty.
Right? Dirty means olive brine,
Mm-hmm.
not olive juice, right? Olive brine, specific. There's a difference. And then you also like it shaken. The difference between a stirred martini and a shaken martini is that a shaken martini is a lot more diluted, right? It's diluted. You're emulsifying the stuff in there, so it'll come out cloudy. The traditionalists will say it should be clear. It should be clear. You should be able to see through it. It should be cold. There should be a lot of condensation on the outside of the glass. And a little sidecar because there's always a bit of an overpour, right? And then 3 olives. From what I've heard, 3 olives is standard. If you get 2 olives, your bartender probably doesn't like you. And I can't confirm. That's just
And if
some
you get
rumor out
one
there that I've
olive,
heard,
you better get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Because they're probably spitting in it.
And yeah, I think you'd see that. Well, unless it's cloudy and they shook it, that you might not. You might not.
And that's why it's shaken.
And that's why it's shaken. Yeah, to hide the spit. No, don't spit in the drinks out there. Don't unless it's your own drink and spit in it. Who cares? You're the customer. If you want me to spit in your drink, I will do it if the price is right. Yeah.
No doubt.
Or if the price is wrong, I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'll spit in anything.
Oh.
Almost.
Okay.
Maybe. But then also, one last thing about martinis. They should, if you're going to shake a martini, they should be double strained, just because the ice chips floating on top are a bit of a faux pas. You don't necessarily, you want a cold drink, but you don't want ice cubes in it, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
This is, again,
Unless you're me.
unless you're Kara. Again, I'm just channeling kind of what the traditional thinking is out there around martinis. But good drink, stiff drink.
Lovely.
Boot to the head. That's the whole point. Very good. Very good. We made it with Beefeater tonight.
Yep.
Good classic London dry gin.
Shout out London. We love you.
Shout out London, not London, Ohio. Get fucked, London, Ohio. I don't know. I've never been there.
I'm sure it's a lovely place, but we don't have any listeners there yet.
I'm
so
sure.
fuck 'em.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure it isn't. So unless you're listening, and then we love you.
Sucks.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. We'll take it from the expert. So that's the drink for tonight. I had one. It's not my favorite drink. It's not a bad drink. There are I'll say misprepared drinks, but there are no bad drinks. I'll go on record and say that.
Retweet.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we got that drink break. It's martinis tonight. We don't know what it's going to be next week. It's something we'll have to discuss. And we have some course corrections. Right, and one of the things I wanted to get off my chest when listening to the last episode, maraschino cherries. Right, maraschino cherries. Luxardo is the original maraschino. Luxardo is the name brand. Maraschino is the style. It's a very quality cherry. I believe it was Czech Republic, something like that.
Okay.
The guy came from. He ended up traveling. Something happened. He had to leave the area where he came up in. Moved to Italy with the recipe. It was born again. There was a guy here in America that he wanted to duplicate it, but it was too expensive. So he came up with this process. It was a chemical process. It's 4 times cheaper to do the American version than it is the original Luxardo version. And in the process,
6 times?
it's 4 times.
Okay.
It's 4 times cheaper, right?
Still a
typical
lot.
American fashion,
Yeah.
right? We cheapen everything.
Uh-huh.
The cherries that he used would bleach. It would bleach them white, and that's why he had to re-dye them that bright neon red.
Okay.
So just that was something in my mind in listening to the previous episode that I wanted to correct. And then is there anything, Kara, that you wanted to revisit from the last episode? No?
No. I mean, I
Like any corrections, any points of clarification?
I don't think any clarifications.
Okay, fair enough.
I think I'm good.
We didn't talk. I mean, we did talk a lot about buttholes, but I think we were on the line, but we didn't necessarily go over.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think it's like, was I embarrassed to say that people have seen my butthole? Of course, but my mother, my doctor, the average,
Yeah.
not the average person, but
Not the average person.
not the average person.
Pod mom.
But people have seen my butthole, and that's
Sure.
a fact. And if people haven't seen your butthole, I think you should go to the doctor.
Well, people have seen my butthole.
Right.
I don't know if I actually said that. Well, I know I did say specifically that people have seen my butthole.
Here we go again.
Just not me. Well, anyways, I'm not going to go down, or maybe in this case, up that tangent.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about tipping a little bit.
Sure, let's get
Right.
into it.
You had said something earlier about being off mic. Jess did as well. Number 4. Jess had mentioned this as well. Tipping 20% was the baseline, or I think as she put it, was the 20% only if you got great service, right?
Yeah.
Great service, and it wasn't.
That was like as high as it got, pretty much.
Right. Well, I'm suggesting a new paradigm.
Yeah, give it to us.
Now, one of the things I said was in the last episode, I will do and tolerate most things if the price is right.
The price is right.
If the price is right, exactly.
The price is wrong, Bob.
If you, even one of my covenants, like cleaning up someone's poop, like I will, there's a $sign on that.
Yeah.
So I think if you're a customer, and this is, I hope, people recognize this as an extreme hyperbolic case that I'm about to make.
Uh-huh.
But if you're a customer and you said, well, I just missed the toilet and my poop is next to it and I didn't clean it up. I just wanted to let you know, Mr. Joe Bartender, here's an extra.
Go look at my poop.
Here's an extra .com. Mr. Joe Bartender, there's half of one of my turds on the floor next to the toilet.
Uh-huh.
Here's $300. I'm okay with that. That, to me, that's like, they go, my bad, Mr. Bartender.
Whoopsies.
I'm in a big hurry. I have this important convention to get to.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It just slipped
that
out.
It just slipped out.
It was a simple mistake.
For your time, sir.
Yeah.
Good day.
Yeah.
Right?
In a thank you card.
What are your thoughts on that? As a former bartender, potential future bartender, is that something? Sure, we'll use the example.
You said $300?
Yeah, to pick up half a turd.
Yeah.
And that's a relative.
100%.
You're into that.
1,000%.
You're into that.
If you, I could put my contact information in the subject of this podcast. If you need to come pick up your turds for $300,
if there's any princes in Dubai,
drop a line.
Yeah.
Your girl will be there with bells on. Honestly, with bells on.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'll be there as soon as I can. No trouble.
So if you're an asshole, right? What I'm suggesting is that, like, the new paradigm should be, not 20. 20% is the least. It should be the least amount that you give a service person, and I mean, they forget something, right? That you specifically asked for. They are a little long in getting your drinks to your table.
Uh-huh.
They are, 20% I think is bottom line. That's the floor.
I agree.
And I'm suggesting a scale. If you want to swear at this person, let's say that it's 75% tip.
They're gonna swear at me.
They're gonna swear at you. They'll be like, can I get my fucking lemon, please, for this iced tea?
Uh-huh.
I asked for a fucking lemon.
With my lemon.
With my iced tea, with the tone, the everything.
Yeah.
Right? The fucking, what is that haircut?
Karen?
That Kate lady with the 8 kids
Kate
had?
plus 8?
Yeah. The fucking, that it was like cut up in the back or whatever.
Yeah, there's a name for it.
Yeah, there's a name for it. You should know these things.
Bob.
Is it a Bob? Anyways.
It's a Kate plus 8 cut.
Yeah, that bitch. She's like, can I get my fucking lemon?
I think it's the Karen
now?
haircut.
Is it? I want to speak to the manager,
Yeah.
right?
I want to speak to the manager.
I want to speak to the manager, yeah.
Yeah.
Can I get my fucking lemon that I asked for?
Are you asking me?
75% tip.
Yeah.
On the bill.
Would I have a problem with it?
Yes.
No.
Exactly.
And I'll tell you why. Because I'm at work. And why am I at work? Because I want money. And what are you giving me? Money.
Yeah.
So if you want to be an asshole to me, that's fine.
Ante up.
But yeah.
Ante up.
Make up for it. Make up for it.
Yeah.
If you're going to be the scum of the earth and you're going to come through and you're going to treat me like the doo-doo on the bottom of your shoe and you're going to order a beer and you're going to give me a quarter, which has happened. People have given me a quarter for a beer. What am I going to do with a quarter? Do you see a gumball machine nearby by chance? Do we have a gumball machine here? I love a gumball, but I don't see any nearby.
It could in 1959
So
you could get a loaf of bread and a tank of gas for a quarter. You know,
That's not happening. That's not happening in this world.
Right.
So no.
Right.
No. If you want to be an asshole to me, pay up. And
Yeah.
if you're not going to pay up, get the fuck out.
Yeah, so going forward out there, any, bartenders, our one Romanian friend, potential, future Norway listeners, customers out there. This is the new paradigm. Let's spread this far and wide.
Spread it out far and wide.
You know what? Like, if you don't do this, I might actually fight you, actually. But I was going to say, if you want to throw a drink in my face and then throw me $100, I mean, whatever. Maybe give me the $100 first and warn me.
Honestly, I wouldn't be offended by that.
If it's $100 goes straight in my pocket and you just want to throw a stout in my face.
Like, if you're just trying to get it off your chest, bro, I just need to, if I could just toss this drink on your face, I'll feel so much better afterwards. And I'll be like, okay.
Is that worth it to you? Would you
Okay.
pay someone $100 to throw a drink in their face?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. If they
Okay.
deserved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm cheap. I would keep the $100.
Well,
I mean, if let's say I had it to spare, right?
yeah.
In the stream world.
Am
right?
I rich? No.
Yeah.
But if I had
That's
it.
that's Bezos money.
Yeah.
He
If
probably has someone on staff, Jeff Bezos, that they literally, when he's mad, he just comes by and
Yeah.
spits in their mouth. I don't know. That fucking lunatic.
Yeah. I need to take this out on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's $69,000 a year. Heyo. So we're in agreement on that, right? Like a new paradigm for tipping, like a scale, and ascending scale for the worst, the worst of your proclivities.
Yeah.
Out there, right? All right. Well, we'll get a little feedback
Let's do it.
from our how many listeners are we up to? 10, something like that.
20.
20, 15.
16.
16. Bayo!
Ayo! Wow, bow, 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 bow.
All right, and then phones at work. Can I just say, this is how long I've been.
Uh-oh.
I've been
Here we go.
in the service industry. When I first started, there were no cell phones. It just wasn't a thing. So we said, rightfully, that don't be on your phone at work. And as customers, I wanted to ask you if it affects, let's say everything else is fine. We talked a little bit about, you go to a $5 sign place.
Uh-huh. 4,
Right.
5, yeah.
Right. Let's say you're in a $5 sign place. Everything else is fine. Your drinks are full. They're good. Your meal comes out right. Everything's accurate. The ambiance is great. The person is dressed well, but he just happens to be, or she happens to be on his phone in their downtime. Does that affect your dining experience?
I don't know if it affects my... Okay, so let me say this. I can't remember the last time I was out at a nice bar, even a shitty bar, to be honest with you, and people were on their phone. So I feel like it would affect me. And it also, I guess, depends on the mood I'm in. But to answer your question, I feel like, yeah, it's just weird. I can't remember it.
Yeah. Well, this is a note to managers out there, right? Like, if your people are doing their jobs, why can't they be on their phone? Why not?
Right, but
why does it look bad? Is what my ultimate question is. I never understood why it looked bad. Like, everyone has a phone. Do we just have to forget that because we're bartenders, we don't have phones for 6 hours? It's just a very odd standard
Yeah.
to have. Now, in the case maybe that, we were discussing last week, right, with Anina,
Yeah.
clearly people's needs weren't being met.
Yeah, and that's I guess sort of what and to be honest with you, and maybe I have this negative like thought in my head of like, you know, everyone that's on their phone is a Nina. And like, why do you need your phone out at this moment? You know, if you're doing your job and if there's, you know, there's got to be something to do that doesn't involve looking at your phone. And if you're going to, here's my thing. If you're going to look at your phone, maybe just look at it in the back where I can't see that. But if you're going to stand at the bar with your back to me looking at your phone, I might be a little bit like, I don't like this.
Yeah. Even if all your needs are met.
Even if all my needs are met, because I don't know why. And, you know, you could shame me for this, but it seems like a little tacky.
Yeah. Well, and I would say then.
I've definitely done this, by the way.
Yeah. Same.
So.
Same.
Just
Absolutely.
let me get that out there.
Well, I don't think, and I guess I would take exception, right, with the word tacky, right? Like it's a relative term, right?
Yeah.
All your needs are met.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
As a customer.
As a customer, all your needs are met.
Mm-hmm.
Why continue to have this very high standard, which is arbitrary?
Yeah.
Right? It's an arbitrary standard.
For example, we were at a bar this past weekend, you and I. And the bartender, there was very little people at the bar. And the bartender was FaceTiming someone at the bar, behind the bar. She was the only bartender there. And I was just like, why? Like, what are you doing? It wasn't affecting me. My needs were met. Did not need to be served.
So is there a lesson? Is there a lesson there?
Maybe I need to settle down as a customer.
That's what I would say, but I'm glad you said that out loud and into a microphone.
I'm happy to
Pod
admit.
Mom, don't you dare edit that.
I'm happy to admit when I'm wrong. I'm happy to admit when I'm wrong.
Yeah, and I think this is something that we should all really think
because,
about. You know,
hear me out for just 1 second. We're all human beings.
What?
We are all human beings, and if like you want to act like Susie Q is behind her desk. Doing stuff all day at work and not looking at her phone in between, you're a fool. So if people could be, you know, if every other person in America is at their job and responding to things on their phone, looking at their phone in between tasks, why can't a bartender be doing that? And why and myself as a customer, I'm guilting myself here. Why am I looking at it negatively?
Yeah.
When it's not affecting my service.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and I guess this kind of brings me to kind of the next point that I wanted to make. Mm-hmm. You know, what's the vision for all this? You know, why are we here right now speaking into microphones? You know, why are we sitting here venting? You know, what is the point of the Bottomlessbar podcast?
No one has ever listened to us in our lives. We need to be heard.
Yeah, well, for me, at least, and I've said this, I don't know if I said it in the last episode, but I said this when we first talked about it. I said it the second time we talked about it. I've said it, you know, in relaying the idea to, you know, random people, you know,
mm-hmm.
you know, third parties, so to speak. You know, there isn't really a voice for service staff out there in any appreciable way.
Yeah.
You know what we're thinking, things that we don't like, things we do like, things that can make our lives better, things that make our lives harder, you know, all the things. And that's, for me, ultimately, having been basically in the relatively same position for the last 27 years.
Yeah.
This is something that I want to give voice to. I want to breathe life into and you know, help, you know, anyone that is really interested in, you know, navigate pitfalls, you know, is interested in this as a career, because it can be a lucrative, fulfilling career.
Yeah,
it
100%.
can be. But if you're not aware of the pitfalls, it can leave you feeling disenchanted.
Yeah.
At least, you know, for people that this may not necessarily be their first choice and find themselves in a management position. Mm-hmm. How to navigate that without in the vacuum of not having help or someone to show you the ropes or lead you, right?
Yeah.
For customers. You know, there may be some people out there, no one listening, but some people out there that they may find themselves getting bad service a lot. Mm-hmm. I would say to them, without any glibness, and at the risk of sounding glib, I would say to them, look inward.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously. Look inward. You shared a very interesting case with me off mic about happy hour.
Okay.
I would just ask that you relive this again. This is really kind of like a case in point for customers out there. People, to get better service. This is a team sport.
Yeah.
It's if you don't tell us, if you don't share with us, what your needs are, there's only so much we can do. For a lot of reasons. But
Yeah.
you were in a scenario.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, we're all human beings. And like we talked about in the first part of this podcast, just before the drink break, like during COVID times, we're all in this together. And no matter the circumstance, we're supposed to be. No matter the circumstance, I think we all have to remember that. So I had, this happened to me often, but this one particular...
This was pre-COVID as well.
Pre-COVID, this one particular situation stands out to me. So we were very busy. It was happy hour. It was a nice day. The bar I worked at had, we would like open up the windows, open up the garage doors. It was a nice atmosphere to be in during happy hour, so people wanted to come.
Yeah.
So we were bumping, and I was working with one other person, that person being Nina, who we mentioned in the previous episode was not always the most helpful. She normally helped when we were busy, but not always. It depended on who was there.
Yeah, it really seemed like, in my experience with her, not to beat a dead horse, but I'm going to beat this dead horse a little bit.
Beat it up, baby. Beat that horsey, baby.
It honestly
Beat
seemed,
it. Go ahead.
from my perspective. No, don't. I'll just talk over you.
No.
It seemed from my perspective that the harder that I would work, the less she would work.
Because she was like, why should I be working when he's doing 100 miles an hour?
Everything's taken care of.
Yeah.
I don't need to do anything.
Check. Yeah,
exactly.
My job's done.
So anyways, you were,
So
you were working
so
this
I was
particular case.
I was working with Nina, and in this particular case, we were very busy, and there was a guy who had been there throughout happy hour. Happy hour ended at 7, so customers are typically trying to get their shit in before 7 o'clock. They want the happy hour price, happy hour food, happy hour drinks.
Yeah,
right?
they're bargain seekers.
Yeah.
Even in the bar business.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people go to happy hour just because it's a deal. There's a lot of people out there. Like like it might be like a person who wouldn't normally go out. They're like, oh, it's expensive to go to the bar, but like, oh, I can get a cocktail for $5 instead of $10. I'll be there with bells on. Okay.
Sure.
So I sort of felt like this was one of those guys. So anyways, he comes out and he's out through happy hour, but he's an asshole, right? He like the whole time, like it's all about him, just like the way he's speaking to me, like yada, yada, yada. So we get to a point where, happy hour is coming to a close. And like, let's say it was like 7:01 and I see him at the end of the bar, but there's about, 12 people in front of him. Right. And I'm like, I got to get to these other people before him. And he's just like at the end of the bar, like looking at me, like making eyes, like, I'm trying to get in for happy hour. And I'm like, well, so is everyone else at the bar. And
Sure.
so I took my time.
Was he the last one in the queue?
He wasn't necessarily the last one in the queue, but I took my time getting to him because...
Was he towards the end? Because as you're working behind the bar, you have kind of a working knowledge of the order that people show up in.
Yeah, I think
right?
customers tend to think that maybe we're like a bunch of like ditzy folk behind the bar and we don't understand.
Yeah,
like,
don't fucking wave at me.
Yeah, I've
Don't
got a story about that.
Fucking wave at me.
Wait.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm sorry. Let's finish the story.
Later.
Yeah.
But so we have a general idea of who was there first, right? And we go by that order. This particular guy was an asshole, so I was taking my time getting to him. By the time I got to him, I was like, I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry. It's 7:01. I cannot give you those nachos for happy hour price. Are you kidding me? He's like, are you kidding me? I've been waiting in line for da-da-da-da-da-da. like I've been here since that time. I want the happy hour price. I was like, I'm really sorry. Like, we're super strict about like when we put in like the time for the happy hour. I'm really sorry. Like, better luck next year. So that was my experience with him. Needless to say, so I didn't give him the happy hour price. He's really pissed off about it. I think he tipped shitty. He might have written a note on the receipt. But like, to me, it was like hey bro, don't be a shitty human being, and I won't be a shitty human being back to you.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, I'm the bartender. You may not think that I'm important, right? But I'm behind the bar. I'm giving you your drinks. I'm giving you the cost of your drinks.
I'm the licensed drug dealer here.
Yeah. Right.
Don't fuck with me if you want your fix.
Right. So
don't fuck with me.
If you want the shit and you're trying to get it good, be nice to me.
Right.
And if you're not gonna be, you're gonna get, I'm sorry.
And this is honestly just, I will repeat this ad nauseum. You will get more flies with honey than you will with vinegar. Mm-hmm. It's just that simple. And if he had been nice to you, if he was really sweet, maybe, he threw a $5 at you in the previous order.
Yeah.
You could have given him the happy hour price.
Like anything.
Right?
It's not even, at that point, yeah. No, I agree with you. But at that point, with this particular guy, it wasn't even money. It was like, just be nice to me. Right? Yeah. Just be nice. Yeah. Just a thank you.
Yes.
Like I go places.
This is pre-COVID too.
Yes, I go places to this day with my partner, and we were someplace like last weekend, the weekend before, and I remember being like, "Hey, like we, before happy hour's over, just like sort of like jokingly, but like not jokingly." And the girl, like, we're chummy with this girl, and she's like, "Oh, it's no problem. Like, I'll ring it in as happy hour, because as a bartender, you could ring whatever is in as happy hour.
You figure out the tricks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is not a secret, but you could ring things into the computer at whatever price you want as a bartender.
Yeah,
for the most part.
You're the one at the POS.
Yeah.
Right. And
so, like, if you want,
that's point of sale, not piece of shit for anyone. But you're the one at the POS machine.
Yeah.
You spend the most time on there. You're on there more than ownership, than management, anyone. It is integral to the performance of your duties. You know the tricks.
Yeah. So
you know the tricks. You figure out the tricks by necessity. You figure out the tricks just by being adjacent to it.
Yeah. So moral of the story, if you're a customer and you want to be treated nicely, just act nice.
That's it.
Retweet.
That's literally it. And honestly, going back to what I was saying just a few minutes ago, say he wasn't nice, but he was throwing you 20s every time he came up to the bar. That changes things, right?
Yeah, that totally changes things.
Exactly. Exactly. So, Chad, if you're out there, fucking tip. Be an asshole, but be accountable. Yeah. Understand that you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Look inward.
And show up and show out with your cash.
Exactly. And know that, just bullying people that are just trying to live their lives is not going to get you what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a really good point. I think it's not good. If you're like a bar manager or bar owner listening to this, you're wrinkling your nose right now. But I would encourage all bartenders, service people out there, keep this level of pettiness up, because that's exactly what these people are doing.
We need the petty people.
Well, we need to unite.
Yeah.
Right? And some customers need to be fired ultimately.
Yeah.
Right? Like some people just aren't.
They need to be voted off the island. You're not welcome here.
Sure.
If you can't act accountable, if you can't act right, you're not allowed. Do you want to talk about people flagging you down?
Oh, waving at me?
Yeah.
Honestly, it just fucking
ignites your fire.
It really does. I hate it. I hate it at a deep part of my soul. If you're fucking busy and you're flying back and forth, and I want to say, like, this is really just kind of like a good place for most service people to be. You need to make the most of every trip back and forth across the bar.
Yeah.
You're doing your own dishes. You're inputting your own tips. Let's say you need to walk to the far end of the bar to take an order. And then you need to walk to the other end of the bar to fill that order. On your way back, you should be grabbing glasses, empty glasses, receipts, pens, menus that aren't being used, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
On your way back. And
Cleaning it up.
Yes, exactly. Making the most of your trip. Then, so this is what I try to do as a quote unquote professional bartender, right? I try to be as efficient and as economic as possible with my movements behind the bar. This is a conscious thought when I'm at work.
Yeah.
What can I be doing in these micro moments between transactions, right? To make my life easier, to make the performance of the bar better, to make the guest experience better. If you're someone that's in a queue, you show up third or it's always the motherfucker that's like fifth in the queue. They show up, they get in between a couple.
Yeah.
And
or
they like a first date.
They're just going to blend in.
They weasel in. They fucking throw one arm in between a first date couple, and they start fucking waving at you.
We think that they want us to think that like all of a sudden they're a throuple. No.
Yeah, no.
No. You were not here. You were not here from the beginning.
Don't. Just
Don't.
don't.
Just don't.
That's it. Don't fucking wave at me.
They go up to order and you're like, don't.
You see me. You're that guy. You see me with this perfectly choreographed economy of movement.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Flowing effortlessly from end of the bar, back and forth, and you come in and you want to fucking disrupt that. Just don't. That's my mindset on the whole thing. Don't fucking wave at me. Don't try to fucking jump the queue.
First of all, don't. If you're thinking, don't.
Just don't. Do not fucking wave at me. And not all people are like that. Sometimes you miss people and then they wave at you and they want to get your attention. Also, don't. Just fucking don't. I'm going to get to you. It's my job to fucking get to you.
And like, here's the thing.
Don't. Just don't.
Here's the thing. It's like, now that I'm in corporate America, can I compare it to something?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. The equivalent of the man throwing his arm up, or like, there's always that brochacho at happy hour, and he's like, it doesn't even have to be happy hour, any time of the day. He's like, oh, I got a 20 in between his fingers, right, like this, like a 20, a credit card, like flashing it about, like, oh, I thought everyone else in line didn't have money here, like, oh, I thought they were paying.
Yeah, this is all just charity.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
It's like, oh, sir, you have money? Oh, you're so much more worthy than the other people behind you.
Is that real cash?
Is that? Yeah. Is that
I haven't
Queechy?
seen that since the Cold War.
Pardon me, Queechy. Cashola on the play. Okay, so there's always that guy, right? And they just think that they're like so much like more worthy than the people next to them. And where was I going with this?
Corporate America.
Corporate America. So I would equivalent that to like
Equivalent?
Is that not a word?
Maybe it is.
Equivocate.
No, look it up.
It's equivocate.
Look it up for me. I might be wrong. Listen, we discussed this earlier. Equivalent.
Sorry, I keep laughing. Right in the mic.
Listen, people, we talked about this earlier. We are happy to admit when we're wrong. Shout us out if we're wrong. But I would compare that to somebody as like, there's always that guy in corporate America. If you work a 9 to 5 behind a desk, you know what I'm saying. They will repeat their emails over and over again. Just circling back. And then there's like the flag. They put the little like orange flag. Like it's a very important. Or then they get.
I don't know about any of this.
It's okay. I'll educate you. And then they get into the subject line, and it's like, so like let's say the subject was like, Johnny needs this. So they're like capital urgent, Johnny needs this. And it's like the email is in my inbox. It's in my queue, if you will. I'm going to get to it. I have the email in my queue, right? I see you standing in front of me as a human being, as a
They're trying to
customer
jump the
at the
fucking
bar.
queue.
Yeah. Don't jump the queue. The queue's there for a reason, right? Don't be that guy. So, no. Do you want to know what? If you're emailing me with the flag, the urgent, in my queue, no. You know what?
Automatically ignored.
You're at the end of the line. I'm sorry. Back it up. You're not. No, that's not
Yeah.
happening. And that's how I feel about people at the bar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't be that guy.
Well, the thing is, and maybe this goes back to what you're saying, if you're nice, you know, we're going to make an effort. We're going to say, hey, give me just a second. Hey, I'll be right with you. You know, maybe, for me at least, because I have this internal guilt monologue that goes, insecurity, if you will. You know, if you're really nice, I may give you a discount.
Yeah.
I may guilt myself into giving you a fucking discount.
Yeah.
Right?
And you have the ability to. If
And
you
I have
wanted
the ability
That's
to
the beautiful
I
thing.
have the ability to do
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So just fucking be nice. Be over the top nice.
Yeah.
Like it can only benefit you.
Yeah.
All right? And this is just a lesson. This is from the bartender's mouth.
Listen up. You heard it here
So to speak.
first. There was a time when a man flagged me down. This was also during happy hour. There's a lot of feisty people during happy hour. They're trying to get their deals, you know?
It's insane.
This,
but go ahead.
This guy
Yes.
was flagging
Okay.
me down at the end of the bar. And I got a little bit aggressive with him. I like to be angry with people, right? Because I could. And I looked at this man and I said, sir, do not,
Sir?
I kid you not. I said, sir, do not flag me down like I'm a plane coming down the runway. I will get to you. I will get to you when I can. And he was like, and then I followed it up with one more. And this is a true story.
Did he come back? Let me ask you this.
This is a true story. No, he was flustering. He was floundering. He was backpedaling. He was like, oh, my. I can't believe this young blonde girl is talking to me like this. I said, sir, do I come to your desk? Do I come over your cubicle and ask for something from you in the middle of the day?
Oh, wait, this is at your current job.
Oh, no, this is it, where I worked with you.
Oh.
I said, sir, do I come over your cubicle and ask you for something in the middle of the day? Do not come into my work and act like your needs are more important, right? That's not fair. That's not fair to me. Just because you got off early, so you're supposed to work till 5, you got off at 4, you came into my work, you're begging, you're just like knocking down my door because you need a Tito's and soda? I don't think so.
Well, what is the fucking hurry?
Because they think they're more important.
Yeah.
He thought because he had a fucking button-down shirt on, then he was more important than every other person in that bar.
If they just shout loud enough, if you just make a scene to whatever degree, they're going to get what they want.
Yeah.
Right? This is the same thing as like a 2-year-old throwing a fucking tantrum in the middle of Meyer.
No. Oh, 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, just
that
like
kid that never got attention. Yeah.
Right. And it works. And a lot of people feed into this. And bar owners, they will ingratiate themselves to this particular narrative, for lack of a better term, right? We get stuck in the middle,
Yeah.
right? We get stuck having to deal with this, like in real time. And if it doesn't work out, if we can't live up to the standard that management, bar owners set, for whatever reason. It may not even be our fault. We talked about this a bit in the last episode. We get stuck with the shit tip.
Yeah.
Right? So it affects us.
Yep.
Right? No. Yeah. No. Just be nice. Be nice to your service people. You just can't imagine what they'll do for you.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
Yeah.
You know, they'll buy you drinks. You know, they'll give you free appetizers. They may mispor a drink and sit it in front of you. See if you want it. You'll be the first one.
It's the greatest thing that could ever happen to you.
Free drink,
Yeah.
you know? And it's just being nice instead of trying to bully your way into a deal.
Yeah.
Just be patient
To save $1.
to save $1. It's bananas. It's fucking bananas. Do you go out in happy hour at all? Do you two go out for happy hour?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I don't fuck with happy hour. In fact, I don't even go out on the weekends. Hardly ever anymore.
Okay.
You know, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like those are my times to go out, and I rarely do, just because I don't want to deal with. I don't want to deal with the dining public, but things are different now,
Yeah.
right? Because of COVID and everything.
We love
I
a
just
happy
think-
hour. We love, not a deal, per se.
Yeah.
I like to drink during the day. I like to drink before the
Well,
sun goes
your
down.
schedule's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah.
I like to day drink.
See, I don't. I do, but
I like to be hungover before I go to sleep at night.
what about you, Pod Mom? Is that the same? Is that
I could drink any time of the day.
okay? How are you feeling on Monday? This past Monday?
I
'Cause-
felt fine.
Really?
Did you go to work?
I did not go to work.
Oh.
What, you didn't know this?
No, I'm kidding.
You
just
live
like,
together.
I'm just kidding. Like he didn't go to work. That's how good he felt. He didn't go to work the next day.
Oh, that was
He
a
was
rhetorical
supposed
question.
to.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Well, maybe he just didn't want to.
Well, the snow. Did you see the snow? Good
No,
God.
I didn't see any of it.
Oh, okay.
I missed it all.
Okay.
No, I was pretty lit by the time I left.
Oh, yeah, I was too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like
Yeah.
doo-doo the next day.
Yeah.
My
I had the least amount to drink of anybody we were with.
yeah, because Pod Mom was driving.
It's responsible. Drink responsibly, kids.
Yeah, drink responsibly. Unless you're not driving, then get fucked up.
Unless you can afford an Uber and
Yeah.
then shit yourself.
Yeah.
Who cares?
I have a 5-drink maximum. We've talked about this, and I was at least 7.
Oh, for whatever reason, I thought that was a minimum.
No, that's my maximum.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was confused.
After 5, things get a little hairy.
Is that 3?
That's 3. I'm good today.
Okay.
After 5, things get a little hairy. I just start saying things that I regret. You know,
Ooh. Well,
my-
that's fun for us.
yeah, of course. I might get into arguments. You know, like you just you look at yourself under another light. You know. So I try to stay.
Yeah.
I try to stay under that 5-drink maximum.
Well, I regret a lot of things that I say, very, very often.
Same.
I really
This
often.
whole podcast thing is actually quite hard for me. it's like
regret-
podcasting while drinking is literally like going out and then like saying a whole bunch of stupid shit. You're like, what the fuck did I say last night? But it's been recorded and it's on Spotify. And people in fucking where?
Romania.
Romania. We love you in Romania, but you're listening.
Sorry, we popped slow there.
Romania. They're like talking shit about us in Romania, you know?
Well, one can only hope.
And it's like, holy guacamole, what did I do? But so that's what drinking DWP, drinking while podcasting, will do to you. We love an abbreviation, don't we? Keeps us young.
We,
You and I.
you. So I think I expressed my vision for this. It's just trying to save the fucking world here, right?
Yeah.
Ultimately.
You and me. And
Well,
our
me
guests.
at least. I don't know. I'm still unsure about you. What's your vision for this whole thing? You know, fucking talking into the microphones.
The pod?
Yeah, like we talked about this 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, when we sat down, we were at the Sycamore, which is a nice place. It's since changed hands. Very very nice restaurant.
Yeah.
I genuinely love that. Like if I were to open a place, it would be a facsimile of that.
Yeah,
Right? Like
it's a
it would
cool
be
spot.
something
Yeah.
something like that. You know, minus like the menu. I'd scale the kitchen way back and
Yeah. They were a little pretentious,
increase
but
the bar.
overall, good
Well,
place.
that's they're victims of kind of the
The area.
the
they're
neighborhood
in.
that they exist in. But
Yep.
a great place. I
Yeah.
genuinely like it. And it's one of the things that one of the restaurants that the owners that business did really, really well. But we were there.
Yeah.
You remember that night?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. You remember the hit and run after?
I was really
That
hoping.
was kind of the high point of the whole night for me.
We just got done. We just got done telling our listeners to drink responsibly. But listen, it happens. Sober or not, sometimes you bump into people. That's what bumpers are for, baby. They put them there for a reason. They put them there for a reason.
So what, like when we were sitting there, if you...
I like that you just drop the bomb and you don't even get into it. You're like, oh yeah, she backs up in the
Here's
cars.
a question. How many felonies are we going to admit to in the course of this podcast?
No, I've got no felonies.
I don't know.
I've got no felonies.
No felonies?
No
Well,
felonies.
Pod Mom is a lawyer.
I've got no felonies.
So my point is, what was your intent for this?
Well,
Like, did you have an intent? Were you thinking about the future? And I don't mean like, on the catwalk next to Kanye or, I don't know, Drake, or maybe Drake's not the person.
Am I on the catwalk?
I'm just saying, like, what was your vision of, what was the point of this for you? Because we very intentionally met, right? Me, you, and another person.
Jess.
I'm still unsure of how to refer to her. But we met very intentionally to discuss the logistics of this specific thing that we're doing now.
Yeah.
Right? Getting mics, recording it, putting it out to the world. What was your intention in that meeting? Do you remember?
I think we all just like had a lot of opinions, from the very get-go.
Sure.
We had a lot of things and we had a lot of things to say. And I think that we thought that our opinions could help others. And I think that's the ultimate goal of this is like, if you're a bartender out there and you're listening to this and you struggle with the things that we're venting about.
You have a Nina.
Yeah. You're not alone.
You have a Chad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not alone in that. If you're someone that's aspiring to be a bartender and you want to know what you're going to get yourself into, these are all the things you might come across.
You may not have a mentor.
Yeah.
Like you.
Yeah.
Which is a big fucking pitfall.
Yeah.
Right?
My mentor was you, which is scary.
That is scary. It's scary.
But I was also really lucky at the same time.
Oh. Are we what?
Oh
no.
He's my pod brother.
Pod bro.
No, but seriously, I think that we had this idea and it started off as like just for fun, just for us, right? Just for us.
To get shit off our chest.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stress there.
Yeah.
And in our particular instance, there was a lot of stress. And it was unnecessary.
Yeah. And then we realized somewhere down the line that we're fucking funny.
I think so.
I think so too. And we have a lot to say. Which is
Yeah.
important. And people like to listen, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we decided to put it down permanently. And
Yeah.
here we are.
Yeah. Oh, good. Well, I want to keep that in mind going forward. And, if there's anyone, and there might not be, but if there is in the future, now, there's a question. There's a scenario that they're existing in. Maybe you feel somewhat like I did. You're in a job. You need that job. There isn't another job. And things are going, a service job. And things are going sideways for you. Mm-hmm. And you're trying to check all the boxes. You're living in earnest. You are trying to do all the right things. Reach out to us. Like we'll try to help. We'll try to give you good advice. Some of that advice may be get a fucking another job. Some things are not worth it, but you have to, like I did with our shared experience.
Yeah.
You have to make tough choices sometimes. You have to pick your battles. This is kind of trying to navigate that, right? Trying to shed some light on it. Again, with my intent for all this, it's trying to give voice and give a platform to workers.
Yeah.
Working people. And ultimately, that's what bartenders are out there. They're craftsmen. they're salt of the earth people. They live, hand to mouth, so to speak, right? And they deserve that. They deserve their living. They deserve to be comfortable in the workplace. They deserve to be respected.
Yeah.
I feel like I deserve to be respected. I feel like you deserve to be respected. And I think we can all be happy. I think customers, ownership, bartenders can all be happy. That's the point for this, for me.
Yeah.
It's to save the world. I want
We're saving
to
the
save
world.
the fucking world. And if it goes to shit, then maybe a few of you will come live in my compound. I'm not going to say that on the podcast, but I have a lot of ammunition.
Oh my God.
I'm just going to say that. I have a lot.
In your pants or? Oh, sorry.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Though I am aging. Not
Okay.
as much as I used to.
Okay, sorry. We kept it pretty non-sexual, and then I just had to ruin it at the end.
You totally ruined it. Well,
But that's what we're here for.
We're here to ruin it
Yeah.
as well for you.
We're here to lighten your day.
Yeah.
And your load.
So that's the point. That's what. That completely went by me until I seen Pod Mom.
Yeah. Shoo.
Cringing in the corner. The full cringe position. Well, great. Is there such a thing as a good customer, like a perfect customer for you? It's Chad Daddy, isn't it? I just answered my own question.
If they look beautiful and they tip nicely, they're
nice.
And they're nice.
And they're nice. Well, that's very simple. Perfect customer. Same. I really can't say anything. We're 2 hours now. We're 2 hours.
I think we could cut it.
Are you feeling like you're good at this point? You don't have anything else to add for this particular episode?
I don't think so.
All right. Fair enough.
I'm good to cut it like.
Oh, well, before we go, we'd just like to ask some of our listeners out there, whatever platform that you're seeking us out on, you're listening to us on, rate and review, honest feedback. We want to change, or we just want to provide a good service for you. Ultimately, as the bartenders living in earnest that we are, at heart, we want you to be happy with the product that we're serving up for you.
Yeah.
Rate and review us.
Rate us up.
Help us out. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, right? Hit us up on Twitter, @Bottomlessbar.
Follow us on Instagram.
@Bottomlessbar.
Yeah.
Email us, bottomlessbar.1@gmail.com.
With your questions.
Questions.
With your topics
concerns.
of discussions.
Don't send us pictures.
Yeah.
As,
Well, unless you want to. Unless you want
unless
us to
you
rate.
really, really want to.
We could rate you.
We'll definitely rate you.
Yeah. Even if we don't have to do it publicly. We could do it privately.
We'll do it.
And we'll email you our feedback.
Feet pics are cool too.
Shut up. All right. That's it.
All right. Thanks for listening,
We love
everyone.
you.
This is Bottomless Bar. Joe.
Kara, signing out. Pod Mom.
Next time.
Love you. Bye.